Okay. Are we live? Are we live? Reminds me of Young Frankenstein, which I'm sure you've never watched,
Nope.
which you should watch.
Young Frankenstein.
It's a cult classic, dude. And it holds up, bro. And it's Gene Wilder, who was at the time, one of the funniest men on the planet. And it's considered cult classic. Watch it with your maybe your girlfriend won't like it, but
Young
all
Frankenstein.
right, now he's making me have to go and look, dude.
Young
Okay,
Frankenstein.
there are certain movies that you have to watch before you die. Okay,
1974.
Young Frankenstein, and this one they couldn't even make it anymore today. Blazing Saddles,
Blazing Saddles.
two of Gene Wilder's like greatest, and Mel Brooks is part of this too.
Oh, I've seen that guy though.
This is Gene Wilder because
Oh,
you
okay.
watched Willy Wonka and the Chocolate
Yes.
Factory, and he plays Willy
Yeah.
Wonka. But
Okay.
these are the two movies: Young Frankenstein and Blazing Saddles. They couldn't even make this movie anymore, bro. It's just so
It's so out there.
no, it's bad, bro. Like racist and like the stuff they were doing in the 70s, you just can't
Yeah,
All in
it
the
was just
Family and all that. You can't do it anymore. But put this on your list, okay? You're not allowed to die until you watch these two movies. Ali's laughing. It's true. I don't care what you say. It's true. Okay. Let me get back over here. Okay, cool. We're back. All right. So I was kind of holding it a secret to Kevin, but I was complaining about Klein for the last month, and it was my bug. I had a nasty bug that was not processing messages 100. We were cutting off. The bug was getting the message in for that last message, but it was kind of cutting it off. And so
Okay.
we never actually had the full context of the message. So I'm going to show you now.
Oh.
And it was just a weird thing around the OpenAI spec for input because the input isn't just a string. There's a structure that can be placed inside this input, especially if you're dealing with images,
Okay.
which now this model supports. So I can actually use images in the agent. So when you start dealing with images and more complex messaging, OpenAI has a structure. Well, I wasn't processing this structure properly. So so some of the content was getting cut off.
And that's why it just would get
They
lost.
didn't
Just
know
it didn't know. Yeah.
because as far as the model was concerned, we didn't give it the follow-up question because it got cut off. And I just started printing out the raw input at some point. I said, let me see the raw input. And then I went, wait, here's the raw. This is after we finish. Wait,
Yeah, it's just
missing.
different. Yep.
Something's missing.
Okay.
And it was all structure. Like, I got to find where the code is, but just
That's
crazy,
interesting.
crazy. I don't know if I can remember where all that code was. Hold on. I mean, thank God I found it because it's been life changing now. But it has to be around somewhere around here or models. Something in this code here that I could go through the commits. Something in one of these conversions where we were just completely just being bad, really bad. Let me see something. There it is. Fixing major bug in input. What is that? That commit. I think I could just put the commit ID here, right? Let's see. Yeah, I think that. Did I do the minus P? Oh no. If I do a capital P, I get, or is it lowercase p? If I do lowercase p, I see the code changes with lowercase p.
Okay. Cool.
So there it is there. Online, no, that's metrics. No, prepare text context. This is it right here.
And how did you even find it? You just
Again, I just started dumping the input before I even touched it.
and then that's
To then
you
where
compared it.
we, because there's a whole bunch of work massaging you have to do, right?
Yeah.
There's a whole bunch of massaging that you have to do. So, oh, that's in models.go. Between lines 321. So, models, I knew I was in the right place. 321. Oh.
Or was.
Let's see. 321 prepare. Oh, in.
You could just search it, right? Through the code base?
I can, but I don't know why I'm not able to do what I'm trying to do. This is where I feel like I'm an idiot sometimes, right? Because, oh, but the code has changed since then too. But so
Cronk models.
it should have been in models. And okay, let's just find this function in models. Models, because that's where we have our models. That's weird, bro.
So now it's chat.go.
No, but I wouldn't have changed that. So this is me being a. Oh no, here it is. Okay, here's model dot bad, and we played with a text. Okay, it had to do with this here.
Huh.
So when the content came in, everything's a slice of this map of different fields, right? So if you look at, let me stay here. Now, what's bothering me is this is in chat.go, right?
Mm-hmm.
I don't know how to read this apparently. Because that's the change we made. Oh, here it is, dude. I was looking at the wrong thing.
Oh.
Chat.go. All right.
But you went up.
No, yeah, no. I feel better now.
Okay. Yeah.
This is an import.
Huh.
I have such a small dumb screen I'm dealing with.
I was thinking the same thing.
Yeah.
I was reading it the same way.
That's why I'm an idiot. Okay, so I just feel better, bro, because I should these are skills that you need to have, especially as everything is moving away from these IDEs and more in the terminal. Like you're dead if you can't sort of do these things.
Mm-hmm.
Anyway, so if I were to look at the example again real quick. Here, right? I defined this thing, which is a model D.
Mm-hmm.
It's just a map string, anything, because this is how data comes into the system, right? So
Yep.
keys and values. So there's at some point we have a key called type that's part of this OpenAI spec. I wasn't processing this type. Well, I have type text, but somehow, some way, I wasn't handling this conversion properly, where we're trying to pull out messages. And so here's the problem. Converts messages using the OpenAI array format to simple strings. Okay. So the core engine works off of essentially a simple string being fed to the model.
Okay.
And a binary if it's an image. So we really have at its core, from the time that I started building this thing, if I can find it. If I look at a map D here, at its super core, and I'm not going to find it. At its super core, a message is essentially a role
And content.
and content. And from my perspective, a raw media message, which is what we want to feed to the model, it's essentially a string. That's all we need to give the model, either a string or a set of bytes if it's media.
Okay.
Okay.
Yeah.
Like at its core.
Yeah.
But OpenAI, they have these complex data structures like this.
So within the content, there's actually structure.
So if you want
That you
to
need to parse.
do a message call, a media call, like with an image,
Yep.
this is what you send into the model server, right?
Got
That's
it.
the protocol for the API.
Got
Okay,
it.
this is the one for the audio. This is one for, say, video.
Yep.
Now, the model doesn't know how to deal with that. The model deals with this
Okay.
because its template, it knows how to put those tags in. Remember we talked about
Yeah, that
the
language.
tags, and I showed you when we looked at the prompt,
Yep.
right? So the prompt needs essentially this to then run it through the template to get something that you would need a template that was designed to read this doc.
Got it.
There are templates that are designed to read that, but not all the templates are. But all the templates know how to read this.
Yeah.
Okay.
Okay.
So if I want 100% coverage, essentially on all the model templates, if I basically bring everything down to this, I'm covered 100%. If not, I have to get more in depth in what that template is suggesting we do. So as an example here on the latest template here, right? This template knows how to take that input data and look for things like, hey, there should be a role in there. And if there's tool calling, then we expect to see this
tag.
and all that. And so these things can get really complex, but guess what? If I get everything down to just content, every template knows how to handle that.
Yep. That's like the base.
That's the base, right? And so if we looked at the other like type text, but even with media, there's probably something in here that can also identify that the media is an image, right? Just because it's raw. But a lot of times, like I have to go in here sometimes when it's not working and we have to fix it, right? But you can see that content is there 100%.
Yeah.
Now, this is also a model that can handle images, but I can put the raw bytes in the content as long as there's a media marker there. The way we process it is that content ends up having a media marker. It literally says media.
Yep.
And then we have some other data structures with the actual. But for the core engine to process that, I need to have the image sort of in here and I need to detect that. So, okay, so this is the first version of everything and it works with all templates. So I have to convert this. First, I got to identify that I have that and get it to what?
Convert into there.
So that's what this little function does, right? It looks to see if we have an OpenAI formatted input document, and we got to basically convert it back down to the simplest form.
Got it.
Yeah, that's the way I do it.
Okay.
And so when we were converting it down to its simplest form, I was cutting off some of that message.
Oh, okay, that makes sense. So there was like some markers that you just weren't.
I was just cutting off some. So this code went away here under type text, right? It simplified it just down to this. So I was saying here, if it's a string, I don't remember all that. And we have to make shallow copies because we're going to be mutating this input now. Remember, it's a map. It's pointer semantics. So if I mutate your input and the whole thing is done, your input is now mutated for the next call. So we've got to make copies of your input. Now, I don't want to make copies willy-nilly because what if you had this huge freaking thing? Right?
Yeah, now you're.
So now there's efficiencies that have to go on. So I don't copy everything, but I do have to make copies of the messaging. And a lot of times I can get away with the shallow copy, which is literally just giving me another sort of string. There's some, it doesn't really show up in the profiles, but you have to be really smart about what we're doing here on these sort of copies.
Gotcha.
And we're very strategic when we actually take the shallow cop. But you can see here we got rid of that. And we're taking the raw string and now we're writing that into a text builder. So essentially what this code is doing is it's essentially making a copy of the string, but we're building it better now into the string builder as opposed to what we were doing. So this fixed and then you see here, we write it back into content.
Yeah.
And so we essentially took that complex data structure and then converted it into just that simple string, right?
Okay.
So I thought I had this up here, but yeah. I also have like these are all helper functions that would help you even create a complex like OpenAI. But if you're just dealing with text, right, you don't need the complex one. You can just do it this way, which is fine. So all these little helper functions, you see they're exported.
Yeah.
But essentially, that was the bug. It was not converting that properly into a full string. It was getting cut off. So
okay.
now that we fixed that bug, watch this. Do I have the server running? No.
No.
Make cronk. I don't know why I can't type anymore. I always use the build because
So you do a build first and then you run the server.
when I'm on my dev mode, I don't want to run node.
Yeah.
So if I do build, it just rebuilds the static site. Nobody needs to do that unless you're like in a dev mode. I just don't want to not do it. Plus, if you do a commit, the pre-commit script will do a build for you anyway. But for me, I just, right, it's just, you see it's rebuilding the static site. That's all that build does. Okay, so now that's running, right? So, just, oh, model, tell me when you are ready. And Klein, because it just uses that one request and it's so simple, man. It's just, and the native to calling still. I have a brand new model now too. I don't know if we had this. I was using this Q6 Quen.
Yep.
Oh no, dude. Another new model came out the next day.
Oh.
Oh my God, dude. Everybody on the internet's freaking out over it, and they should be. So
which one is it?
Oh no.
I'm behind.
It's super small and it's as powerful as the next model. So everybody can see what I've been doing online now. It's great. Good thing I don't look at porn on my laptop. I would be in front of Congress. I know, but I need the but I want the
But it's a new Quen model.
Yeah, they just released it. And of course, Unsloth is the organization you should be using.
Yep.
Dude. So look at this right here.
Whoa, way smaller. The other one was 97, I think, for the F16. It was like
at the UD6, right?
It was
We were already in the 60s.
Yep.
Look at this. The highest level precision that we can run. I mean, F16 would be. They don't have an F16.
Yep.
I can't run the BFs because that's, again, we talked about that for training models. I
Yep.
can't get that to run on this machine.
Yep.
But 42.
Much better.
Woo! And not only is that better, it has been super accurate with Klein. It still makes some mistakes with tool calling once the context window gets a little full.
Yep.
I just don't know if I'll ever solve that problem.
And is it the same context window? The 96?
No, I can go to, well, with that size model, I can go back to the 128K.
Oh, okay.
So, okay, the model's loaded, right? But because that model is also small, you know, when I want to play with Kilo, I can use 3 full slots because it's small enough to have 3 full slots.
Yeah.
But even with the grammar set, once that context window gets a little bit, it just doesn't make... The GPT model is the only one that I've run on this machine that it's flawless with tool calling. But that model's like a year old now.
Yeah.
So, you know, it works, but it's not as if like this model's crazy. So now I can do things I had it do. I had it rewrite all of these examples so I could pass a source URL or an ID. It did all this work.
That's cool locally.
But here's something that's cool, right? This is something that Florin and I have been, and I broke the manual up. So let me copy this text. So this is something that here's something we really couldn't do before until the next model came out, but it's even better now with this one. So watch this. And I've been using it to help me. So, and I don't even need to do it that way. Look. So we have the CLI tool here, right? And the CLI tool has, we've been working on this long usage, okay?
Okay.
It was much shorter before. But let's just do the following. Look at the manual of the project. Now, the manual I moved here, mainly because it was taking 75,000 tokens to load the entire manual up. And Florin couldn't use the manual anymore with the agent because he didn't have enough memory.
Oh, okay. So you broke it up.
Today I broke it up. That way the agent hopefully is smart enough to know which chapter to use. In the agents file now, we got the full index.
I was gonna say in the agents file it'll
the agents file has the index in it. So it will go to agents first, and then it should choose just instead of all of them. See, Kilo was smart in that it was trying to read portions of it, but still, like, who knows if you're reading the right portion, right?
Exactly. This makes it a lot faster too, probably, because
Yeah. So I ran this
off.
and I only used up to about 35K of context. So
Half.
So look at the manual of the project. It should find that using agents, and prepare a better description for this CLI command. Right? It's a reasonable task.
Yeah.
Like, we've done a bunch of iterations, and every time it wants to change something else. But let's see what it does.
And that's something that's interesting with AI is it's always going to change. If you ask it, hey, change, it's always going to find something.
Find something, right?
Yeah.
But this was the first time, this model was the first time where I asked it to make a code change. Again, it went through all these examples. I did one at a time, but I said, use this other one. It added all, and then I asked AMP, how did it do? And it said it did great. It was the first time
I've had that happen with
that AMP was like, yes.
I used Claude and I used Cursor and it did the same thing. It was like, no, this is good.
I know, but it's the first time a local model has made AMP happy. And this wasn't a massive change. It was like, I was just tired of sometimes I want to use the ID versus these URLs. And I was commenting code and uncommenting code. And actually, in fact, I didn't put this back in the README, I don't think. Okay, so look what it's doing now, right? Look, we're at 28K.
Yep.
But it's reading
chapter 2, chapter 7. Okay, so it's deciding which one's relevant.
It's being smarter. And it's, I mean, from my perspective, AMP has been dog slow the last 2 days. I don't know what's going on with the models over there. Like, something's going on. It's not SourceGraph's fault. It's while that's running here. I forgot to update the README with try to keep this up to date with the latest version of this example.
The Mac sounds like it's about to fly away. Take lift off.
Fly away. I wonder what the fans are at. Let's see.
I've been using that little app.
So it's great, isn't it? Let's see what the fans are at. See, it's running them faster than the 45, but I think if you let's see what it tried to do. I think if you started at 45, it can maintain that. But you can see these, it's keeping these under 200 there. Now, it tried to read something that doesn't exist.
Security.
So that makes sense. Where it got that, I have no idea.
It's still doing it.
No, that one failed, but let's see. I don't think there is anything. Well, I know there's no command cronk security at all. So, oh, there is security. Oh, that's right, for the tokens and stuff.
Mm.
So I don't know what it was trying to do here. But whatever, it's still going, right? But look, we're at a 36K window. When I did this before the manual breakup, that was up at 75K, which now limits you from being able to do some
Yeah, there's only so many messages you can get after
within
that.
that thread, right? So, but right, it's reading a bunch of code, right? It's cranking it out. We're getting 20 TPS, which is again not my biggest number, but still pretty good as the context window goes. And like this task is going to take place, and then it's going to edit some code. So, but this is what was stopping. Florence suddenly couldn't run this task anymore.
Because it was
The
just,
manual just got too big.
yeah, too much.
It got too big. It got too big. All right. So while that is up, oh, there it is. Okay. Dude, this is all local shit, man. I can now, when I go to Brazil on Monday, I could use this to do
You can do it on the
very
plane.
targeted changes. Not AMP style stuff, but targeted stuff.
You can still be productive.
I can still have it do small things and be productive. And
Ask it questions and all that.
I was using it to do research for the blog post. Read the manual and tell me what it says, because I don't remember, and it would find it for me.
And
But this is a reasonable amount of speed for that. This model is out of control, bro.
yeah,
Everybody's freaking out right now online over this model. But because we got the IMC, right, it runs
yep.
incredibly fast here. In fact, Florin was trying to use this model with, I don't know if it was Open Router or something, and wouldn't even run. This IMC optimization is the big win. So now it's writing out some changes there.
Yeah, it's doing a good amount too.
I know, and look, we're at 40K.
That is cool.
So that was my README change, but it's going to be changing this right here.
The main thing too is you can do these tasks and it takes away from, like, let's say your AMP tokens that you're spending.
That's the thing,
It takes
right?
away
Tokens
cost.
are going to start becoming freer. And this model just came out. Imagine maybe in another, there's Quen 4, but with the size of the model behaving this well. Again, I don't know why on this machine the tool calling isn't like perfect. Even with this, I'll show you. We'll run it in Kilo and you'll see what I mean.
Yep.
Even with the grammar, which will slow it down, but tries to force it to behave.
44.
Whoa. Oh my God, it went
It's
off.
doing a
I
lot.
decided to fix the catalog. Oh my God. This is the first time I've seen the model go this crazy. Did it add some new tasks?
Whoa.
Dude, I've never seen it. This is the first time I've seen it decide that it's going to go and fix everything.
I wonder if it'll stay focused going through the list.
Yeah, well, that's why you keep. Where is it? This I turn off because I don't want it to use it at all. But now auto compact I turn on, but that could hurt the IMC because that would basically change the prompt and we'd have to start over.
Oh, okay.
But it's the focus chain that I think is the one. It constantly sort of reinforces what it's supposed to be doing as the context gets larger.
Okay.
So that one's important. I keep this on just because of the context window, but I know that if it decides to auto compact that anything, right, we're gonna lose. We're gonna have to re-decode some things.
Yeah.
But that could still be better than not being able to do anything at all because we ran out of context, right?
Yep. Very true.
This is the one that bums me out the most. But this is insane, bro. This is a massive change it's now doing. But this would have cost me a few bucks.
Oh, for sure. That would have
on amp.
been at least $2
At
probably.
least $2 with amp, at least, and it's just cranking it out. Amazing, right?
That's, I mean, to me, that's the biggest one is you're saving on that kind of stuff. Like to do documentation, to do like it, you already know that like what the change is and where the code sort of needs to go and stuff.
And for me, this is I don't know what I just did there. And for me, this is super reasonable amount of time. Like now it's just amp doesn't necessarily run much faster than this right now for what we're for this type of task. Amp isn't running much faster than this.
Let's say you're saving a minute, probably.
But look, it just enhanced all of the. This is like beautiful, dude. Yeah, even if this took an extra couple minutes, whatever. I got the TV on and I'm watching something and
Exactly.
taking a mental break, and I wouldn't be able to make these changes. I mean, I could have, but
It still would have taken longer
yeah.
without it.
But
So
look at what's happening, dude. This is local model shit, man.
that is crazy.
How much memory you have on that machine?
I have 36, which I thought was a lot at the time.
Yeah, not anymore.
Not anymore.
So
And this
you'd
was
only
2 years ago.
What would be interesting at 36? Look, I think as a general rule, you need to make sure there's at least 20% of memory left for the OS.
Yep,
So you said you had what, 36?
36.
Dude, you got to plug in your laptop's gonna die.
I don't even know how it died that fast.
So look,
The 19, I think I had, when OSS first came out, I tried to run it.
no, but try to run that with Kronk in the
I might be
IMC.
able to.
This model here, you can for sure. For sure, you'll be able to run that on this machine. For sure. Now,
I gotta try that.
your problem might be the UD format with, because what is that? Your machine's a what?
It is let's see.
Oh no, it's a
M3.
Pro M3.
M3
You
Max.
should be able to run. UD kind of stands for ultra dense. It's something that Unsloth does.
Okay.
The silicon hardware, because of the unified memory, unified meaning that the CPU and the GPU basically share memory, that unified memory.
Yep.
These dense models do better on these Macs.
Huh. Okay.
So I put money on it. We're going to have to do this today. I need you to clone.
We'll
In
set
fact,
it up.
do it while we're hanging out here. Get the latest, clone the Kronk.
Hold on. I think it's
Look, actually, you can help me out. I added a bunch of instructions to the README.
just walk through it and
Walk
install
through
it.
that, install it, and then we'll download. I don't think I didn't add that Q4 to the. Let me see what I. Actually, I added. These are image too, so. Oh, okay. Look, I got the Q2 in the catalog. So I would say start with the Q2. That was the smallest
13. Okay.
XL.
Yeah.
And then download that and see if that runs. That's 13, bro.
I think I can run 13.
Actually, it would be interesting to see how Klein works with the.
I think I got into trouble with OSS because it was like 28 or something like that. 28, and it was too much.
No, but I bet you this model, when you download it,
Okay.
and we set up a model config for you with the Q2, it'd be interesting to see how Klein does.
Okay. So
Anyway, I cleaned up the catalog too because, okay, look, it just finished, bro. So it went ahead and fixed all of the, look at that, bro. That's amazing. So let's do this.
Nice.
Let's do one more thing before we move on. Okay, so I'm going to keep all this, obviously. So let me, dude, that's amazing. And what did we use? Up 54K, right?
That's not bad at all.
No, but you saw that it just kept cranking it out.
I mean, it's free, so.
Fixed
Do I have Kronk here? Yeah, I do have Kronk.
long descriptions. Okay, so let's do this. Yeah, but you need to make sure you got latest, greatest.
Yeah, I just pulled it. Okay.
Okay, let's do the following. I'm just going to show you how depressed I am with Kilo. So watch this. So I'm going to go into the Cronk model server. We see that it's running. No active streams. Okay, we unloaded out of memory. Gone. Now, I'm going to switch over to Kilo. Now, let's do the following though. Kilo's, I always have it set to GPT OSS. It's solid.
Yep.
But like I said, it is old now. It's like a year old. There's been no updates. So I'm going to use the Kilo, which gives us essentially this configuration. So 3 slots and incremental caching. Luckily, it's a deterministic template.
Mm-hmm.
And I'm going to enforce the grammar, which is going to basically cut TPS in half, but it's supposed to make it more accurate with the tool call. I, just haven't seen it behave perfectly. But hello, model. Let me know when you are ready. Oh, I forgot to show you the follow-up. After we do this, we'll come back here and we'll do a follow-up.
Oh, okay, yeah.
And I'll show you how I fixed it. So
yeah, that's cool. Great catalog.
The other problem is Klein is faster on my machine because this wants to throw 3 requests at things.
Yeah.
Which again, with that number 3, it shouldn't matter. I have enough memory. The model's small. I can handle the 3 requests, the 3 slots. I can do that. It's still single threaded in the engine. We're just processing 3 requests through the engine, even though it's one go routine. Okay, so it's ready, right? So let's just, I give it something simple, like here. Let's give it something simple. This part kills me with all these agents. Like they do this in one last request, right? Okay, start a new task. Okay. Review the changes in the file for the long description that Klein just made. Please verify that the description is accurate. So let's see what it does. Somebody wants me to recommend a good roadmap, or do you want me to ask the agent to recommend a good? Okay, so this is using the same model. Problem is Kilo and the other ones they just do this pure tool calling. So look, if I showed you out message, that one doesn't have tool call in it. Eventually, oh, maybe I don't show that on the out. Show it on the in. Oh, probably should fix that. I know, it's just reading. Oh, okay, here. Like on this in message, you can see there was a tool call.
Okay, I see that.
And right, and this means it's being cached because we're seeing, when you see message 0 here, it's because everything else was cached, right? Look,
okay, yeah.
that's essentially telling us that we current in the cache new. So we just added like another 3,000 tokens there, right?
Yep.
Like this is working actually pretty good.
Okay.
I don't know why I don't see tool calls on the out. Oh yeah, here it is. Look, so there's a tool call. So that's a native tool call, right? That the model's doing. And in this particular case, the parameters are good, but every once in a while, so it just finished like with no errors, right? Which has been Not my experience so far, but okay, I've reviewed the long. Is I correct? Okay, so let's ask you this.
It seemed like it was fairly quick too.
No, like this is the best I've seen Kilo run with this, right?
27K.
Yeah, because it had to read it in, I guess.
Yeah.
But I want it to fail now because it's making me like a liar, right? So review the phrasing in the description and do your best to clean it up. So here's a follow-up question in Kilo. This is the best I've seen Kilo on a task like this run, where it didn't make one.
Best to clean it up.
It didn't fail one time on a tool call, like the model. It's not Kilo's fault,
Yeah,
per se, but I like the Kilo UI better. I like their CLI better too. But because you have to have a model this small, essentially, on this machine, right? I've never gotten the same performance out of Kilo as Klein. And because the tool calling has to be dead on accurate,
there's not a lot of wiggle room.
there's no wiggle. Like you can have one tool call fail and that's fine. And then it keeps going. But at some point, and look, I think the context window has something to do with it on this machine too, as it begins to. Now, there are model settings that I probably can still continue to tweak that, right? These are things that I still have to learn related to these models here, right? I'm turning these things on, but I don't know, bro. So part of the blogging that I'm doing now is to go deeper into sort of all this stuff. But the fact that this is still running without error is pretty good. So you have nobody can see it, but you have everything installed. You got latest?
I have latest, but I need to do the install and everything. I don't
Yeah, read the
think
make
so.
file for that.
I'm gonna read through it and then.
Yeah, but it's in the make file. It's not.
Oh, not in the README.
No, in the make file. The make file is for developers.
Okay.
I don't put in the README because this is you've cloned the project. The README is like you're just going to do a go
You're just
install.
gonna use it, yeah. Okay.
But this is you've cloned it. Now follow through those instructions here.
Gotcha. Let's do that.
Now this to me is taking too long, right? Oh,
Oh.
did I just see some errors? No. Like this to me is taking too long, but I don't know. View tool usage. I kind of like this little diagram thing too.
So it's telling you what, how is that?
So it made a change. That's what was happening. So I've cleaned up the long description changes.
Looks like it's playing nice.
Dude, it is playing stupid nice. Now, with the grammars turned on, look at my TPS.
Oh yeah, a lot lower.
But if I don't enforce this grammar, for sure the tool calling is going to start failing at some level.
But then you're losing time anyway because
I can't use it because I'm using it, right? But this is another reason why right now Klein, which doesn't use native tool calling, you can with the it has that button there because for the GPT cloud versions, GPT will only do native tool calling. It doesn't care. But look, like my TPS is like complete crap, but it still finishes. This is the best I've seen it behave, dude. Like this is wild. Let's see the changes that I made.
Did it
What is that?
built on?
So this said Kronk is in.
I don't see the change.
I don't see a change on this one here.
Built. You can't. I don't see a change on those two lines.
I don't either.
Model text. What the? It's picking it up as if there's changes, but
It's almost like all it changed was an extra space.
oh yeah.
Maybe. That's all I can think of. Some sort of spacing. Didn't really change anything, did it?
No.
Now, to verify that, discard. Let's come back here. Yeah. So there's just some extra spaces in there that, but Go doesn't particularly care about them. So, like Go Fump didn't care about them. So that's interesting. It didn't really do much, did it?
No, it just acted like it didn't.
But it says it did much more than.
What it actually, yeah.
Oh, do I have to? Oh no. See new changes. I don't know. That's weird, isn't it?
Yeah. I mean, it's remove phrases like open source.
I don't see it. Other than the extra space, I don't see it.
Is there anything like further down? Maybe. No,
No.
that's it.
Weird, man. It's almost like it didn't even want it. I don't know. Whatever. But that's the best I've seen this behave. Now, watch this. This is the key, right? Let me come back to running models. Let's clear this one. All right. So we just made these changes, right? So how about this? Okay, so I noticed you added an extra space at the end of each line of text. You added, and we remove that extra space. This is something I couldn't do on Tuesday,
It would
right?
have failed doing that.
It would have just given me back this.
Yeah. Oh, we did the change. Like, they would have given you the
And
generic.
I was like, for sure, thinking that Klein was broken. But if Klein could fix my line feed in the terminal, I'd stay in the terminal. But they don't support the shift enter there. And you know me, I like to write a paragraph and get organized.
Yeah. Break it up.
That's like the last
So
thing.
you have to write it just like all together?
Yeah.
Doesn't work.
Sucks, bro. Look, just absolutely sucks. And where the kilo, let me see if there's a new update. And then they have like a split in some form of configurations in a couple different places,
A couple updates.
which really sucks. But I don't even know what that means. It comes up every time. So look, if I'm in Klein, watch, I hit Shift Enter.
Huh.
Nothing.
Unless it's just a different.
No, because watch. Oh,
Did it just freeze up?
I don't know. I didn't like what I was. I guess it didn't like me hitting that over. And, okay, look. If I run kilo here, here's kilo, right? Look, ask me anything. Shift Enter.
Yeah.
So,
Huh.
it's like the last damn thing that I need for me to stay on the terminal with Klein. Because I spent an hour figuring out all the configuration and where it needed to be and all that. Okay, my fan is like cranking again. But my TPS is back to, oh, look at that. It's only 7.
Oh, yeah. I guess I don't.
No, I've tried, dude. And I've even gone on their Discord. But look, even my TPS right now on, that was 30, is all over the place. So, I don't know. Let's see if it fixes this, though. But for everybody watching, I'm really like focused on making sure that Kronk is your personal engine for all this stuff, right? That for your lit machine at whatever size, if you pick the right model, you should squeeze the best performance out of it. Oh, it was VLLM. Farm was trying to run VLLM using the same models, and no, it was never going to happen. But now I'm just super curious here. So once this is over, we have to move on a little bit. But
Yeah.
so far, pretty damn good though, right? And look how well Kilo did, bro. My God. Kilo didn't fail with that grammar. It was failing for me.
I'm impressed with Klein. I liked
Now,
it a lot.
I don't see any changes, so I don't know what's going on. Oh, there we go.
2.
Now it did make changes to main. There, got rid of the spaces. And it made changes to catalog. Now it didn't know enough to go to the rest of them. So now we're at 50, right? And you look at the other would be what? Other packages under.
Did get an error.
All right, hold on a second.
Yep.
Under cronk. And remove the extra space for those. Nice. And extra space. It's in command.go for all of them, right? Yeah, extra space. In the command.go files for the long description. I think I put them all under. Oh, no, they're not all under command. See, this is the part that AMP is really good at, right? I can't stop it. I wonder if I can hit cancel. Oh, let's try it again. For the long description as well. Let's see if I can do that. That would be amazing, right?
Yep.
If I hit cancel and then it did that. So what error did you get
I
here?
got a 401.
Oh,
The other one's downloaded.
oh, is that a gated model? And I didn't realize. This is why I needed somebody to do what you just did. Hold on. That's the Gemma.
It is Gamma. Here, I'll give you the URL.
Oh, it's gated. Okay, I have to take that out of the list then. All right, so let me do the follow. Okay, so do the following just on your project. That's a bummer. This is a gated model. So what that means is that you need a Hugging Face key to use it.
I have one. Or I have a.
No, but I know, but you'd have to set it up in the model server. And since this is training, I can't.
Oh, okay.
Can't do
I
that,
see what you're
right?
saying.
So
Yeah.
I wanted to use it because it's such a small model. So we'll just have this one then. Okay. So go into your make file and just remove that one.
142.
And I'll make sure that we push that change.
Which one was it? It was Gemma 3.
Yeah. Yeah. So go into your make file and I think it's the 4. Yeah. Just get rid of those 2 lines there.
This one.
An echo and a.
Yep.
All right. Do that again. Shoot. That was a gated model.
Okay.
Okay. So now it just said it made the rest of the changes, but it didn't, right? So I think I caused that pain there. So let's just try this one more time. Under command cronk, I need you to find the command and remove the extra. Oh, maybe there is no extra space on these. Oh, there isn't. Look. I guess the other ones didn't need to be changed. I'm being an idiot. Those were the only ones that had the extra spacing.
Huh.
Oh, shit. Smarter than me, bro. Okay, nice. All right, so let's do the following then. Get status, get commit, fixing extra space and class download. Small. Okay. Now, so there's our first hour right there. Git push origin bill. And you're now going through that, which is good.
We found something already.
Yeah.
Good.
I didn't realize that was gated. Okay. But dude, how badass is this?
That is really
I
cool.
haven't had to spend any tokens today
That is really cool.
on anything. And both are working really well. Though Klein is always, just Klein just this feels better, man.
It does feel better. Like watching it, it gives me more confidence than
It feels
Kilo.
better, man.
I don't know.
But there's like aspects of Kilo that I really like. So
Yeah.
okay. Here's something else now that we did. I have it working. When I'm in this class next week in Brazil, I'm super worried that somebody didn't do this. They didn't download all the images,
Yeah.
right? So they didn't come in and run through all these instructions. And now they're in class. And what do you think is going to happen when we try to do that on the public Wi-Fi?
Oh, it's gonna go insanely slow.
It's going to go insane.
Because you have good Wi-Fi and it's taking me a good 15 minutes.
Yeah.
Probably.
So what I did, I don't know where I put it. Where did I put it? I bought this via Florence. Hold on. This thing is super cool, bro. So I bought this. Okay, this is it right here. This
Slate.
let's see here. This thing right here. I don't remember how much I paid. We can look it up.
Wi-Fi 6 gigabit.
Okay, you see this, right?
Yeah.
So this thing, what it does is it has the high-speed wireless router.
Mm-hmm.
So I hard plugged it into my laptop.
Okay.
Then I configured it to connect to my home Wi-Fi.
Okay.
Then I connected Allie's machine to this. She had full internet access with this proxying that.
Oh.
Now, here's the next cool thing.
So you connect that to your Wi-Fi and then you connect it physically to your computer. So
I connected it to
you're on
my
a LAN.
laptop because I had to talk to it anyway.
Yeah.
Right? And then I have Allie connect to this. So my machine and her machine are now on this thing, but this is also feeding us internet.
Okay.
Okay. And then I want on her machine, I installed Kronk, just like you're doing.
Yep.
Okay. So as if she's a student in my classroom. And then yeah. So the Kronk server, if I start it up in download mode, can also feed models as if it's Hugging Face.
Huh.
So I just had to put my IP, my local LAN IP address, which last night was this 246, and chose a model and hit download. And then she was getting the models from my machine essentially by setting that up. So the idea now is if I'm in the classroom and somebody's like, I didn't download this or this model's not working and I have it on my machine, I just start the server in download mode, which is essentially no big deal. It's just setting this.
Yep. Okay.
And now they can basically download. So they'll connect to this.
Yep.
And then they'll get it from me. It's actually faster. I mean, but it's still a lot of data. But
why is it faster? Just because of the way that it's sort of set up?
Over public internet and coming back down.
It's just going from there to here.
But it's like it's not like sneaker net like this quick.
Okay. So you'll still be connected to like the public Wi-Fi.
Everybody can be, but the moment you use a LAN address, this knows how to route it back to my machine.
Okay.
So for the time that they're downloading, they're not off the internet. I'm not off the internet. Okay. So I can continue to talk while somebody's downloading models off of my machine and the catalog screen or the pull works.
That's pretty cool.
It's cool,
awesome.
Right?
Yeah.
Because I had bought the big hard drive thinking I'll put everything on the hard drive and I'll let people sort of NAS it into their boxes. But Florin and I were like, I already have a hard drive. It's right here. We just got to sort of NAS this. And
Mm.
we thought this would be because you got Linux, you got Windows,
Yep.
you got all these things. They'll need drivers. They're right mounting a file system.
Yep.
I couldn't go there with a thumb drive because nobody would ever stick a thumb drive into their ever, right?
Nope.
Like here's 30 thumb drives. Go plug it in, get your models. Like F you, Bill. I ain't plugging that in.
Who
So
knows what's in there?
exactly. It doesn't matter that it came from me. Like your stomach's gonna hurt the whole time. So we're gonna see how this works. So this is like my backup plan when somebody comes in and didn't download the models.
That'll be cool.
But now that we've found that mistake, this is bad. So I'm gonna have to. Where am I here? I pushed that right. I'm gonna have to get this merged right now, bro. Because if I told them to send that email out yesterday, now everybody's failing.
Oh, to do the
Yeah,
same steps I'm doing?
yeah. So fixing class models and some CLI long descriptions, right? So let's just get this in main. I'm going to do a release tonight. There's some other playground changes that Florin's making. But at least let me get this into main. So now you will have these changes too the next time you pull. Let's see. Let's just kill you for a second. So I should be able to switch to main. Pull down those changes. I got to kill the branch that I was working on and recreate it. If I don't recreate the branch immediately, I start working and then
And
I'm in main and then I want to cry. Okay.
Yep.
So with all that being said and done, Cronk server, I just like using build. So that's all downloading now. That's
Yep.
good.
I am on OSS. Let me see where I am in the list.
I think you're in the last one then.
Install models.
You're in Quen. Yeah. That's like the largest one. I had to find the smallest models for everybody in my class.
I'm on OSS.
Because I don't know what I'm going to get from anybody. Okay. So we went through those fixes. We're seeing how great Klein is now working. And I'm super close to having, oh, where did I put it? Super close. Oh, it's right here. That's why.
Okay, I'm here.
That's why this keeps showing up here. Oops. I'm super close to having this new blog post almost done. One of the things I realized yesterday was that I had to talk about different model architectures. And so I think it's a good sort of conversation to have a little bit. So look, if we go back to this screen, right?
Yeah.
I'm like freaking out about this particular model, okay? And if you notice a couple things here, it tells us the model size, 35 billion parameters, right? Tells us the architecture. And even, I never even realized this until I was writing this blog post.
Chat template.
This is the template that we have to fix.
Okay.
But this is like, I didn't realize that button was there. So this template comes with the model, but it rarely works for us. So this is the new and improved version of it, believe it or not. And so there are changes that have to be made all the time. A lot of this stuff is really more set up for Python program parsing. And, we have to do it in Go, and we have a package that does it. And so we've got to sort of adjust this. It's the biggest problem because what happens is Mickey wants to try a new model and he's like, it's blowing up. And I'm like, I have no doubt it's blowing up because I haven't fixed the template yet. Right. And Olama used to guard that. They would not tell you a model was available until they fixed it all. Now that Olama is trying to let you use open source models, they're going to be running into the same problem.
Yep. Okay, made it through install.
Okay, so Kevin's got
building.
I think I've been showing this and I'm not on our screen. So I don't think I showed this to anybody. Sorry. there's the model. So we're back on this screen here for that. And that's the number of parameters. There's the architecture right there. And then this is the chat template that I was just talking about. And then I was showing Kevin, because I didn't show you. This is the fixed version of that template. And that we have to just, it's rare for the template. If for just chat, it tends to, this version of the template tends to work, though it didn't really for this model. It's when you get to tool calling that things just start to fall off the deep end.
Gotcha.
So that's one of the things that we have in the playground to test this template. But 9 times out of 10, I have to fix it. But he likes that CLI run command that I have, and I had to add some extra flags to let him play with this. Okay,
It's working.
but
It's doing its thing.
okay, so you got the chat app working. So now what you need to do is install. Oh, but you don't have the bigger model yet. So yeah, go in there, go back to your, no, you should have kept that running.
Because this
Keep the
keeps
server
everything.
running and then download the Q2 one. So go to the catalog list.
Catalog.
No, dude, back on the browser app.
Oh. Okay. Let's see. So here,
Catalog list. Find the Q2. No, go down.
Went to Q2.
Yeah,
There's a couple of them.
you want the 2. Oh no, that's the large. Go with the extra large one.
The XL, this one, the
Yeah,
Q2K
yeah.
XL. Okay.
Select that.
So you hit
Go to the
this.
bottom and just hit pull model.
Full model. Okay.
Okay, let that happen. Now, while that's happening, that's a 13 gig model. Architecture. So you see this architecture here.
Yep.
Now, from your perspective, it doesn't matter and it does matter. Like Kronk supports, there's 3 architectures, at least today, that I've run into. So I know we have full support for them. That is dense models, MOE models, and hybrid models. Now,
Okay.
this says MOE,
But
but what's interesting is that it is an MOE, which stands for mixture of experts. We'll talk about that in a second. But it's also a hybrid model. And we know that because of some of this information here. And we'll talk a little bit more about that. So this is technically a hybrid model that leverages also the MOE architecture.
Okay.
Now, certain hardware works better with certain architectures. So models that are going to be dense models. And by the way, these hybrid models can also be dense. They're going to work best on this Apple Silicon, again, because of that unified memory.
Yeah.
And because the Llama CPP side of things will process everything sort of sequentially, right? And by doing things sequentially, the hardware gets really, really good at prediction and all the other stuff.
Gotcha. Okay.
The mixture of experts, the pure ones, may not run as well on Apple Silicon as they can run on different hardware because of the way their architecture and the way they work. Like they're not taking advantage of that unified memory. But whatever, if that's the one I want to run and it's working for me, I may not see it as a Formula One race car, say on this machine. So there's 3 sort of architectures that we deal with, right? And the dense models are the best for us. Okay. But everything that's coming out today now is this MOE / sort of hybrid, because what we're trying to do is get larger models to just be smaller. So when you've got a pure dense model, essentially the entire model has to be put into the GPU. Think of it that way. Okay. It has to be completely put in memory because it's dense. There's no playing games. However, if you can get it in there, right? If you can get it in there, it's going to be highly efficient. Okay. Where unified memory means CPU and GPU. They're also the simplest to manage because it's the whole thing is there, right?
Yep.
And it's even simpler for our caching. And so some of these older models that we've been playing with up until recently have all just been pure dense. But
Okay.
nobody's doing that anymore, right? The next level of architecture that came out were these MOE models. So the older Quen, now we're doing Quen 3.5. So the
Yep.
older Quen 3 that I was playing with before was an MOE. What's interesting about the MOEs is that it's like this one I was playing with is a 30 billion parameter model, right? There's 30 billion knobs and
Yep.
dials that decide how it's going to do things. But what's interesting is this model, these 30 billion parameters are sort of sliced into these different quote unquote experts.
Okay.
And so Llama CPP essentially, right, or the model, I guess, somebody's got to decide which expert should be loaded into the model to be used for processing the tokens, right? So think of a room of like 10 people
Yeah.
and we've got to do something. Who's the best person to use for this? That's the
Okay.
expert. So just think there's a bunch of experts and Llama CPP with the model have to decide which expert to use. So what that means
Makes
is,
sense.
even though there's 30 billion parameters, we're only going to activate 3 billion of them at any given time. That's what we need to load.
Oh, okay.
That's the model. Like today, we're using a 35B. I think it's still an A3B. Okay.
Yeah, it is 35B8.
So it has 30 billion total parameters, but it only activates 3 billion of them. Okay.
Per token. Okay.
Right.
Per token.
And so it's designed to sort of take these large models and give us the speed of the smaller ones. Now, like we said to you, right? Not going to be the most best on the Apple Silicon because now we're like, which part of this memory you're
Yeah,
going to use? It's going to feel
it's
like
not
random
sequential.
access memory. Yeah,
Exactly.
exactly, right. But and you can see what I'm writing here. But these are the models that I've been using up till now. GPT OSS is this. This
Got
is
it.
the new breed of models now. These hybrid models. And again, I told you that I knew this was a hybrid model. Oops, sorry. Because we're looking at DeltaNet, hidden layout layers, things like that, right?
Okay.
So
Only like that's like a dense model thing
so
to
yeah,
have
so
those.
it's a mixture, right? So unlike MOE models, hybrid models are dense. So
Okay.
that's good for the Apple Silicon, right?
Yeah.
So every parameter participates, but the different layers use different mechanics. So now you've got this sort of dense model with these different layers. And again, like the core of the data science and the Llama CPP and all that have to get sort of involved. But if we're going to be using these hybrid models, we have to use KV caches of F16. So your machine's got to be able to handle that. With the
Okay.
MOEs, we can sort of get away with it. So I'm asking you right now to download a hybrid MOE model, even though it's only in that Q2 extra large range.
Oh, okay. So
We're
not
still going to
F16.
have to use F16 on the KV cache. It needs the extra precision in the cache to work. Can't use flash attention because the whole model is designed to already have attention based on the layers that we're using. And then for IMC, it's not as efficient because this is where I've got to store some stuff back into RAM outside the GPU and then put it back in. But because the model is more efficient and it's doing its job faster, all that sort of balances out, right? It's all trade-offs
Yeah.
going on at the end of the day. So the hybrid models offer excellent quality per token with efficient sequential memory access patterns. This is why I'm seeing on the Apple Silicon this really good, right? But since all the parameters are used, we still need memory to hold the whole thing. So on the right, and then what's beautiful is too that this one's a vision language model too.
Oh.
So because of that now, watch this. Do I have it running? Watch this now. Uh, what do you see in this picture? And this gets crazy with caching as well, but let me see here. Let me see something here. Why can't I move this? Oh, because it's over here. I think in the project I have, where am I here? Under examples, I have samples, I have giraffe. So now, since this is both a coding model with a vision language component, now in my agent, I can do this.
Oh, so you can give it screenshots of like
I
UI,
can,
things like that.
however, the way I coded the caching is if you're just sending in text,
Mhm.
then we cache all those text tokens. The moment you send in an image, we can no longer fill cache anymore. So your cache
Okay.
history ends at the first media marker, and then everything has to be reprocessed because it's, at least today with the way the Llama APIs work, it's impossible to cache that image appropriately. You got to remember the KV cache not just doesn't have input, it also has the output tokens. And we've always got to clear the output tokens. And it gets very complicated about these output tokens with the image, input and output tokens with the image. So it
Gotcha.
worked.
It
Look at
worked
that.
great. Yeah. That's
But
pretty cool.
now moving forward, because this was my first message, there's no more IMC. This will be as if it's going through a regular sort of process.
Got it. It'll just be reprocessing on every message.
Everything, right?
Yeah.
There's no more IMC. But we were looking at the logs, right? But look, dude, thanks to this model now with Kronk, we sort of have this, right?
Very cool.
Right? Like, and now I can ask a follow-up question, which giraffe do you think is the tallest? I'm sure it's not going to be able to tell us. But fan is like cranking now. But how cool is this?
No, that is awesome.
And here's the follow-up. But it gave me an answer.
It's
So
it's quick too.
it's not bad because the context window is still fairly small, even
Yeah.
though, and the amount of text that we're processing. This is now the size of the image is going to matter because we got to reprocess the image.
Got
But
it.
dude, I can give it a screenshot now
That is cool.
and do some stuff there. So the bottom line is that when we, so this is a good sort of grid here, right? So when I started Kronk, these were the models that I was sort of using, right? These dense models. Then we sort of started using MOE, and now we're sort of working with these hybrid models.
Huh.
In fact, I can even do this because, well, that's just pure text generation, right? And then now we've got this vision language model, which is both.
Yep.
And embedding is just dense, none of that. But
Mhm.
it's going to be interesting to see what happens now because I'm sure that at some point before the end of the year, we're going to have another column in here for another type of model that Llama CPP sort of architecture that it supports, right?
Huh.
But if you're on Apple Silicon, technically these two model types are going to be, given everything the same, these
Mhm.
model types are going to be better for you. But
Okay.
there's no way you're going to take a pure dense model and be able to run it on here because, again, because this is an Activate 3B, right? The moment we see this, now we have the mixture of experts. We don't have to put all 35 billion parameters, right? We're going to leverage 3 billion at a time. And
Yeah.
that's allowing us to use these larger models in a more efficient way. And so one could argue that this is really more a hybrid slash MOE model, right? The moment you see this. If we didn't see this, then it would be a pure hybrid model, right? Where we've got to use all 35 billion, but it has those extra architectures around attention,
Oh, okay. So it can be a hybrid model without
the MOE. Yeah.
without the MO. Okay,
Yeah,
because
for sure.
I'm like associating hybrid with its dense and MOE together.
No, it doesn't necessarily have to be an MOE. That's an architecture in and of itself. But this particular model has both. As far as I know, right? We can ask. Let's ask AMP. Is every hybrid model also an MOE? Also have an MOE component, or there can be pure hybrid models. Like the last two that we've used, these are the last two hybrid. Like this to me is probably a pure hybrid model, right? There's no A3B. Like to me, that's a pure hybrid model. This is really more, one could argue that, and probably it'd be better for this chart, right, for the blog post, to really say hybrid MOE, right? I don't know if I should have a pure hybrid one, but, and so hybrid is a distinct type from MOE. They are mutually exclusive in the detection, right? I know that because once it's hybrid, I definitely have to do some different things. So that's what I thought. They do exist, right?
Okay.
And so this is probably more accurate, and I should find an example of a hybrid model that
Just a pure
yeah,
hybrid.
like I don't think there's a projection file with these models here. No, there's no projection file. So these definitely don't do image handling, right? And if we go back to this page here, we see, right, we see hybrid layout,
Yeah.
gated. Now, look,
Mixture of experts.
this is also an MOE too, isn't it? Based on like what we're seeing here.
Yeah.
And architecture here is Quint3 Next, but the fact that I'm seeing some mixture of experts.
I did see some MOE in that chart there. I see some MOE.
Yeah, I don't know what, yeah. So technically this is also a hybrid slash MOE model. So, you know, it might be interesting to say, can you find me a model on Hugging Face that is a pure hybrid model with no MOE component? Do a search. I don't know. I don't even know how to find that. But yeah, like this is this new sort of world that we're in here now here. But the hybrid is more, because it's hybrid, we have to really treat it differently in terms of the way the cache is managed and all of that.
Okay.
So that takes precedent over the fact that it's just a pure MOE, right? So
Liquid AI.
I don't know how to get to that link. Cancel that. So let's see if I can find that online, because that's an interesting. Liquid AI.
Generation.
I think this had just been announced, to be honest with you. It's taken me well over a year to be able to like even look at this page with it. Here, this 20 quantum is it. Ah, Unsloth has one. I love when Unsloth has something. So look at the architecture here. It's called LFM2, which I have not seen before. Man, look how small it is.
Super small. And it has a F16.
How old is this model? This will tell us 8 months ago. Okay.
$32K content.
Dude, this is an interesting model. I might be able to use this for my class. I've been looking for these small models to play with, and it's also under, let's see what it's under in terms of the type of model. So why do I see that? Like I want to see, oh, here it is, text generation. Dude, this is a model that I could potentially use for the class.
It's
Look, and it's
definitely
got a
small enough.
pure F16
Yep.
at 2 gig. Oh, I'm playing with this model after the, see if I can add it to the class and add it to the catalog because, oh man, this is beautiful, bro. Imagine that works at 2 gig the way I want it to. And so this is a great model then to sort of talk about in terms of a pure hybrid model, right?
So now, how do we like know that it's pure hybrid from that page?
Because what so for a couple of reasons. One, it's telling us right here. Okay.
Okay. Yeah.
We're not seeing anything of that MOE with the mixture of experts.
Okay.
And when you start seeing things like, where was it? Started seeing some like special keywords. Now, the architecture is interesting to me.
LFM.
LFM2. So we're going to ask questions about that. But this is definitely, should be able to run this model. We could try it right now at this point. Let's see if it will even run. It will be really quick to test. So let's say I wanted to play with this model right here, right now, right? Especially since it's this sort of small. So I got a couple of choices to play with this.
Mm-hmm.
Mickey would try to use the run command, but what I'm going to do is copy this download link. This is what I do because I own the right.
Yeah.
We could do it a couple ways. So I have this server running, right? So look, let's go to Cronk. Let's start with pull, and I'll tell it to pull this model down. This is what I asked you to do earlier.
Okay.
Now I expect the chat template to blow up miserably, but let's have everybody sort of see that.
So this is pretty much your process when you find a new model and how.
Well, I might just go into the chat example and put it in there and it will do the download for me. But let's just use this tool for a second.
Yeah. That's cool. This downloaded here for me. The
Q2, yeah. So we'll after this stream, we'll just get the Cronk plugin installed. Okay, so this is downloaded, right? Okay, I'm gonna go to the chat app just to see if we can do some basic. Well, let's go to the playground. Let's pick this model. Let's go manual mode. And let's create a session. These numbers should be fine.
Now, does it, like I see the 500.
That's just because I didn't create a session. That must have been from something else. I don't know what that was, but that could be a little bug. Okay. Now we're using F16 for the cache type. We should because it's an pure F16 model. Small context window. The NU batch could be the same, but that's fine right now. And we have one thing. Okay, let's just see if we can even get it to work with the current. Well, the prompt inspector would tell me immediately. So that's a good sign that the template, assuming that that is what Florin did, gave us this. So that gives me a good sign that the template that is, where is this here? that this chat template is working. Oh God, dude, it's like nothing. It's,
Oh wow, it's tiny.
I mean, so this model does not support tool calling.
No,
Let's just put it that far, right? Or we would see it here.
it's just that role in content basically.
That's it. We can
Yeah.
just chat with this. We can't use this for tool calling. Okay. So that's a good thing to see. So where were we here? So that means I should be able to go to basic chat and say, hi model, how are you? See how
Beautiful.
fast that was, right?
Instant.
Why don't we have, I guess he didn't put usage here. Oh, I didn't even see this. So we can even play with those parameters. Let's see if what it knows, right? Do you know the Go programming language? Okay. What is the TPS on this
It's insanely fast. 184.
thing? I don't know why we're not showing usage. Oh, we'll see it on the other side. So let's go to the chat app and let's
There it
bring
is.
this
Oh,
in. Right. Write hello world program in Go. I don't know, dude. This is faster than we can probably spit it out. I am for sure adding this to the, but this could be a model that you can run closer to the edge, right?
yeah.
Of the universe.
That one
But
was 100 TPS.
yeah, but it already knows a little bit about Go, right?
Yeah.
How about in Rust? And this is a model where I don't have to worry about the template, right?
No.
But still, this tiny little model, look how fast it's running.
104.
But it doesn't support the tool calling. We know that because we just looked at this, right?
Yeah.
So we can only use it for some simple chat stuff, but it's still a model that would be like fantastic for the class. So let's add this model to the catalog. So there's a couple ways we can do this. I haven't tested this out in a while, so let's just see what happens here. Under the catalog here, I do have an editor. So I should be able to go back and grab this copy download link. Put that in there. Should look it up, and I choose the app. Now,
Nice.
that's going to be the ID. It is text generation. That belongs in text generation. Unsloth, family model, architecture. So this architecture we identified
Hybrid.
as hybrid. Okay, now this is something that I could probably have the system. I just added architecture, so the system should be able to detect that. This right, but I added it and I forgot about that. So this is a little thing that we can fix later.
Okay.
Here's the basic web page for it. There's no need to have a template. It's not gated. This is the URL. It's 1.5. Yeah, I just have to fix that. Now, this supports streaming, and that's it, right? Not images, nothing else. Now, for description, what I always do is there's a couple ways you can try to get a description. You might find something interesting here, right? And I think this one is just fine.
Yeah.
Sometimes I ask Google. And you can see this was created a while ago. Now, it would be interesting to, now, this tool also is supposed to try to figure out some of this for you. But we know that we have to run an F16 because it's an F16 model. We were running with
512.
Well, if this works, I'd prefer to use this because then we don't have to do the extra chunking.
Okay.
So I'm going to save it like this and then we'll double check it. You'll use a smaller micro if you're really struggling with memory, because then what it will do is it will just basically process 512 bytes at a time as opposed to this full. And that could matter sometimes depending on how much memory you're sort of squeezing out.
Yeah.
That will be defaulted to 1. There's the context window. Now, I'm assuming that it found the context window appropriately, but how can we sort of verify that, right? So one thing is I can click here, and this is going to be the general metadata. This is the GGUF data,
Yeah.
essentially. And you can see there's the context window there. So that's why, like, that's the max. Now we can increase it with some other technology that we have, but not important. Another way to get there is to come in here, and that same metadata is here. Then you can hit Control F and look for context window, right? There.
Okay.
So
Very cool.
it set that right. We're not going to do any caching at this level. Everything else is fine. It could be this rope would allow you to have a larger context window when you need it. So you might have a model that you really like. It's stuck at 64K context window, and you need to push that. You need to double it for some reason. This rope yarning stuff, I'll write a blog post about it eventually, will allow you to basically extend the model's ability to handle a larger
Oh, okay. I
context.
saw that there was a model we were just looking at that was like
I use it
200,000, but it can extend to 1,000,000.
Yeah, and even in the model config to test this, I have this. So this small model is really at 32K,
Yeah.
but using this yarn, I can get it to 128K.
That's cool.
It is if you need it, right? But okay. So, and we're not doing any speculative decoding. We'll talk about that later. Now, this is the hard part here, because this
Yeah.
isn't always obvious. Like, what should we have for temperature and stuff? Now, on Sloth is really good. They tend to provide guidance on all of their models. That being said, I always have a hard time finding the guidance.
Oh, I thought it. Yep.
Okay. They sometimes produce an entire document on the guidance. So let me just see this for a second. On Sloth guidance. So sometimes you get lucky and no, that's not it. And they have they've done a whole study on the model and they give you the better guidance here, which that's not it, right? These are Hugging Face, and I don't think this model is anything to do with the one we're looking at. So that's not it. But you see this page here?
Yeah, it would be
Yeah,
something like that.
yeah, something like that. And maybe I can go on this.
How to run and fine tune.
But that's not the model either. We're using
No.
the 700, right? So this might not have been big enough for them to play with this, right? But you can see how to run and fine tune.
Yeah.
So the unsloth, especially for the really important models. Now this one's interesting because this one also has a vision language, right? Which is super interesting to me.
Under 1 GB of RAM.
I know. I want to find this one. I want to find this one on Hugging Face. I want the on-sloth. That's not really it, but
They just posted that 7 days ago. The how-to.
yeah, that's not what we want.
Extract and a base.
All right, we'll look. Oh, there it is. There it is, bro. Oh my God. This is like a vision model. Hold on. I'm just looking to see if there's a projection file. Yes, there is, F16. So I'm going to add this one too, because this was 2 months ago. A 2 gig vision model would be really good for the class, because right now the smallest vision, this one's gated, and that was at 3 gig, and that's at 3. But if I introduce this one into the class, it's smaller. And if anybody has a real problem, then, right, this is where I have my little Wi-Fi. I can download.
But to download 2 gigs is not that bad.
Right. So this is where I struggle with the catalog, right? I feel like I need to add, oh, actually, I can't use this. That's a BF.
Yeah.
So I'm always going to add the UD and the non-UD, only because some architectures, hardware that people come might not be able to use the UD,
Oh,
but
okay.
everybody should be able to use the other one. So I'm going to add these two to the catalog today. This is what eats up my time and distracts the shit out of me, is when these new models show up.
Yeah, because then you get it's
I
like
know.
window shopping.
Yeah, I got to bring them in, right? And so we're definitely bringing this one in. And then, like, this is so small to me that I feel like bringing in the other two is, but it's almost twice as big. So I'm going to have to bring all 3 of these in to the catalog, but let's at least finish this first one here.
Yep.
So, oh, where did we find the,
It was was it this one? Are we in the right one?
this
No.
is the vision one. Hold on. I don't know.
Further back. I think it was this one.
Yeah. I just want to keep everything going. So it gave it to us here, right?
There.
Okay.
Yeah.
0.3 on the temperature. 0.3. I don't need you. 0.15 on the min p. Normally these are the only things you're going to set. 0.15, and then repetition penalty. We get that one by default already.
0.0.
So I
Okay.
don't have to set that. What's interesting is there's no top K, which is fine. It'll stay 0. So these are sampling. So I can do 2 things now. I'm going to save this to the catalog. That saves it to your .cronk folder.
Okay.
So now you can sort of play with it a little bit already. But if I say publish to repo, it will just write it here. I still have to do the GitHub side.
Got it. Okay.
But now at the bottom of this file, and I'm going to move this up. Oh, wrong one. Sorry. Now at the bottom, we have this. Now I try to keep this file sorted by the size of the model, because, so that's 639, that's 6.4. Just because most of the time I'm looking for a model, I care about like how big it is in order to play with it, especially now that we're getting into class stuff. So that's 6.4 and this is 1.5. So now I've got, double check everything, right? I've got this in the catalog.
Very cool. The UI made that really nice.
Yeah. Now, the other thing I should do, I'm checking the KV cache types, because yeah, when I get to these bigger models, even though it's a Q8, if you can run with a KV cache type of F16, you're just gonna have more accuracy out of the model. So you'll see me try to use F16 for these larger models. But for these smaller models, it's, if I stick to the 8, it's going to be better for those people. So let's do the following. Let's come in here. I want to add the other 2 for the class, right?
Mm-hmm.
So let's add the extra large UD. This will be the name of the model for the ID. Everything else is basically the same other than the size, which is 866 MD. MD. And I put the size now in the grid list so you can sort things, find it by size.
That's cool.
Now, when we get to these things, what we should be using now is Q80 for the KV cache. And I'll go with a 512 NU batch, right? Because I'm trying to get this to run on the smallest machine sort of possible here. So all this should be the same. A reasoning effort didn't need to be here. That's a bug. Why did that happen? That's a bug in the screen. That shouldn't have been.
I think you removed 2 lines on that
Yeah,
one.
yeah,
Okay.
because it set 2 things. It set thinking.
Oh yeah, and enable thinking was not set.
I know, but it shouldn't have put that in there at all.
Yeah.
So that to me is a bug, like in this form here. Like it was not set, right?
And it put medium or something like that, or true. Yeah, there it is.
Yeah, let me add a note for the editor here. All right, let's just finish this now. So we definitely didn't want that in there. So this is the 8. And then I'm going to come in and add just the regular non-UD one. But keep the 8 there. Because these are the 3 best like versions of the model, right? And for the class that I'm going to teach, this would be nice if we can get this to work. And this is 792, right? Okay. I'm going to use the same setting. So now in the class, we've got we'll have 3 options. You try the 8, you try the 8 XL, and if you're really lucky, you can run the F16. Cool.
Those are smaller models too, which is nice.
Yeah. And everything's still in size. Now I'm going to do this. So you saw that editor window, right? It helps. Yep. I want to go back here now. I almost feel like I should just take this game out because it's a gated model and it's really confusing. So let's just take, it's just going to cause like people confusion at the end of the day, right? Let's go back and look at this one for a second. So we're just going to add 2. We're going to add the U8 and the, so this one, let me create a copy link here. Now this also needs a projection file. Okay, so this is going to be the name of the model.
Yep.
It's 1.37 gig. I don't know why that happened. 1.37 gigabytes. The projection file is this one. So it lets us actually handle images. And that's 854. Interesting. Okay. So that takes care, and this is in this family of models. Fine. Okay. Now, capability. Now, why don't I have, images here? I really shouldn't have all the things that are false. Like, it's one thing that I had fixed at one point. Just
to just remove like
when that editor writes this out, it sort of cleans all that up for me automatically now. Somehow that one didn't get touched. Okay, I'm assuming this is not a reasoning model, but we will use chat completions. It will support streaming, right? And endpoint, right? Okay, so now we need a description for this model here. And we can just use this, right? So let's use this. So this is me doing this by hand instead of using the editor, but
Yep.
It's a little faster for me at this point. But since everybody's allowed to have their own repo, okay, so now what is the context window? Let's take a look. We're using this one. That is the context window. Ooh,
128.
128. So that means 131.07. Wow, that's a big context window. I'll stick with that. I'm going to stick with that. And does this page give us parameters that we can use?
Yep.
Okay, so
This
I'm using this for vision, but
temperature 01.
I don't have this sort of stuff here. But let's use 01.
Yep.
Let's use the 15. And these parameters, I've never seen before. So what I'm going to do is save these to that file that nobody sees to ask later what those are. Okay, so that gives us that, right? And then we're going to add the regular one, which is this. That is the regular 8. So copy, download link. Come here. It will be the same projection file. You have a different name, same family. The size of this one, though, is 125. Oh, it's going to make... and then everything else will be the same. I'm assuming this is the same context window. Yep. Okay. So I've just added these models now to our catalog, right? But they're just on my local repo here. So what we're going to do next is save this. I'm going to push this up to GitHub. And everybody here can have their own repo and say where that is. All right, new smaller models. And now we're going to use this in this class for next week for sure. Okay, I've just pushed that up, but it has to come down now. So two cool things. I can restart the server, which I should do anyway. And on startup, one of the things that we'll do is go and check. I have it downloading anything that's changed in the
Catalog. Okay.
It'll be here. Oops. So it's downloading anything changes. So these models should now be, I go to the list, they should be here. And if I sort by size, you can see there they are.
Yep.
Very cool, right?
Nice.
Now I want to play with the vision model. So let's select this one. You see that? Man, I feel so good about this system that we've built.
Yeah.
The flexibility you get.
No, that's cool.
And you can have that on your own catalog repo if you want. You don't have to use the main one. Right? There's a server setting for that.
Yeah. No, this is awesome. And seeing like the UI portion, even just adding new models.
And so I have the editor there, and I think it's a good place to start. But then
Yeah.
it's faster for me to just copy and paste it there.
You're familiar with sort of the layout of everything.
Sometimes I don't want to push it just yet. So the editor is good because I can write it to local under cronk and start using it before I do a publish. That's what the idea of that is. And then sometimes I'll just go on disk and bring the one in under cronk up. Okay, so we now have a language. We have this vision model now. Okay, bro. Let's. I'm just curious. So let's clear. I don't need to save it in history. Let's switch to this. Let's just see. Oh, one thing I didn't look at with this model.
The template?
Yeah, I'm just curious what the template looks like. Oh, this template's going to need help. Let me see. There's no tool calling, right? Anytime I see loops, I start to get concerned, but there's no tool calling in here.
No.
Let's just see what happens. We'll fix it if it doesn't work. Okay, so just hello model. Let me know when. And I just do that just because Cronk needs to load the model up. Okay, we just got a 400, which is not a good sign. And all right, so we were unable to load this model up in memory for some reason. So I don't know what that means. So we're going to do the following. I'm going to double check a couple of the settings here, like the projection file, which is there. It's good. That's good. So none of this seemed to be. Okay, so let's do the following. So this is good. I'm glad this sort of crashed and burned a little bit. Though I put this in the wrong category, actually, didn't I? Not that that mattered, but
Oh, image.
yeah, that's just me not doing that right. But that didn't cause any real pain. We'll just push that later. Oh, I decided to play with this KL, right? Okay. So let's do the following. Example, vision. And this time I'm going to say source. In fact, that comment was wrong. Let's see if this new code works. Okay, I don't know what I just did, so let's try again. That never would have been /Google. So let's see if this works, bringing in the model. This is all new code, actually. Make example vision. Okay, so we're unable to load this particular model. Let's try the, okay, you know what it might be though? Let's do the following. KXL. I doubt it needs, let's try this. So I wonder if this needs the F16 because let's switch that over to using F16 KV cache type. Yep, the QA-KXL needs the F16. That was my mistake.
Okay.
Now we have a template problem, which is fine, but this needed, this is, do I have this in the right order? 329. Oh yeah, that's the Quen. All right, this should have been F16. I forgot, since this is a UDX, it needs the F16. These won't need that. So there's our regular 8. There's our new 8 with the new settings. And at that point, I'm going to go crazy here. Now, we had a template issue, which is fine. I'm going to reload this so I can get rid of this. It will work on the next reload.
Okay.
But how do I fix the template issue now?
AMP.
Yes, now I need AMP. So I'm going to give AMP this whole thing. We're going to do the following. All right. I'm working with a new model and got this error with template. And this is the biggest problem with new people. Here is the original template. Now I'm going to come here, come back to this page. This is it, right?
Yep.
Chat template, copy. Oh, I forgot to tell it where to fix it. So
Oh,
well, that's okay. We're going to tell it add a new template file here for the fixes. All right. So now it's going to fix this template for us. It's not pre-recorded. We're live right now. We're up to our 2 hours, but we're live. The model that AMP is using has been misbehaving. I've had to ask it, like, even this morning.
oh, because they
I don't know.
don't tell you what they're using.
No, and I
They
don't
just kind of.
particularly care, but I feel like it's been like overthinking or stuck lately. And I have to ask it. So this is typical, right? Failed to parse the template. So my guess is it's going to be, oh, well, parsing the template's even worse because it couldn't even use it. There's something that's even preventing us from sort of, there it is, right?
If. Huh.
But this is what happens, right? We got to, in this case, to me, I feel like this is a broken template.
Huh.
So line 9, column 51, line 9 was why we unfortunately have to wait. This right here. This weird shit that's going on here.
Is it a? But it.
Oh, look at this. This model supports tools.
Set tool. Is there? It looks like it's an extra quote there.
Could
Going
be.
on. It looks like.
Yeah, but that might be the problem. But I don't understand this language, to be honest with you. But and normally this would have helped us already, but just AMP's been really slow the last 24 hours. But that could be the problem because, but you see how this starts with a quote in here too?
I just.
Oh, but that's all in here anyway. We could try that while we wait here, right? So, oh, okay. I just created, you're finished. So it's now adding, it just added this new one. And it kept that in there.
I named it Quen. Why did I name it Quen?
Yeah, we can ask it why it named it Quen. Because the name of the model is
LFM 2.5. Yeah, that.
why did you call this? What did it call it? QuenVL.
Yep.
And not. Okay, he didn't know the model name. Yeah, I didn't give it that. Does this model support tool calling? Okay, so we now have a model, right? I didn't think it had structure. Okay, so we now have a new model, a new template here, right? So let me copy this. And now what we're going to do is add template. I got to add this to both. Okay, so now I've added the word template to both.
Yep.
And we have a new template file. So the easiest thing to do is to just push all this back up. This always scares me a little bit because others might be using this stuff now, like as more and more people, but
Yeah.
new template for LFM model. So I'm going to push that. And then when we restart the when I restart this, it should download the new. And we can see here, I printed out. So you see how it says template
Yep.
here and not before it would have said chat dot.
Okay.
So that just worked. Just found 3 giraffes, right?
Nice.
Nice, right? So now that I know that's working, that work is done. What's also nice is these changes that I made to be able to work with another vision model is good. This was the dumbest thing in the world I did with Gemma because it was a gated model. That was really dumb. So why don't we do this instead for people that show up and want to run this. I'll use this as the base model to play with. That way they can download it. I mean, this should also cause it, but I like doing this. So let's just keep that one for now. What was the other thing that I thought I saw here that I didn't like? Oh, when it chose the model name, it added like a weird thing there, but that's all fixed now. I don't see that anywhere else. Okay, so now that I'll push those changes later, I don't need them. Make cronk server build. Now that the template's in place, you saw how we linked it up, pushed it, it came back down into your local cronk folder. Now we can come back here. Let's clear it. And little model, tell me when you are ready. And I forgot we needed the F16, which we did. Our template's working there.
Yep.
And now we can say, here's a picture of a deer. Do you see any deer in this picture? Oh my God, dude.
Wow, that
This
was fast.
tiny little model. Okay. Can you...
And it knows that that's a feeding station. That's crazy.
Can you tell me how many deer you see? I don't know how this model is so tiny. So it only sees the one. There's 2.
There's 2.
Okay. Can you plus? I mean, can you tell if this deer is a buck or a doe? Whoa. Bro, this
Nice.
tiny little model, man.
Nice.
That's crazy, bro.
40 TPS, 41 TPS, just about.
See, now if we use the highest end, so if I go back to the model I'm using for coding, which is this one. No, 3.5, sorry. This one.
That's the new
Okay,
one.
and I use it in the client mode because I can do that. No, don't save. Now if I do the same thing. Hello model, tell me when you are ready. It's got to load that up now, right? But that tiny model
Was able to do
I
it.
mean, still was able to identify at least one of the deer and correctly identify it as a doe.
But for a class, that's perfect because
It's enough.
a fraction of.
It's a good enough, and
Yeah.
and just about anybody can run it. And I still have the smaller version too. That's why I add the UD and the non-UD.
Yep.
But I forgot that I have to use F16. Okay, so now it's ready. And then I say to this, right? What did we ask the first? What do you see in this picture?
Heater. Oh, the camera information and everything. Yeah. So it went into a lot more detail.
Shit, it was able to read that. How many deer do you? But this is the highest end model we have today, right? Like this should be. I told Ed to switch to this model.
And 2 deer. Yeah.
Are any of those deer a buck? Now that other tiny model isn't going to this level, but
No. But it's a fraction.
But look how fast it is. I told Ed to switch to this model because we were using one of the next models at a smaller quantization, but this is going to be more accurate, the higher quantization.
No, this is awesome.
It's wild, bro. Okay, so we did our 2 hours today. Let's just do this for now. Okay, so we just did like 2 days of Kronk, and you saw me fix a template and get it in there, and we've added some nice small models to the system. I'm going to go to Brazil on Monday, and then I got to go see my kids the week after that. And then when we're back, we're going to start building some actual code.
Cool.
But I should have a blog post out soon on some of the stuff we talked about. And hopefully everybody can start playing around with the system. So,
Yeah.
and we're going to get Klein working on Kevin's machine now. So,
Yes.
all right, everybody. Appreciate it.